My name is Varexol, Senior Observer of the Lurian Assembly. And on the worst day of my very long career, I watched an entire galaxy accidentally declare war on the wrong species. Let me explain. First, you must understand the Carthax. If the word nightmare had teeth, claws, plasma cannons, and a cultural hobby of collecting skulls, you would get something very close to a Carthax. They were known by many titles, but the most accurate one was simple. The galaxy's deadliest killers. They did not negotiate. They did not forgive. They did not forget. They also had a habit of turning planets into glowing gravel. For 2,000 cycles, the galaxy avoided angering them. Entire civilizations built their foreign policies around a very basic rule. Do not upset the Carthax. And honestly, it worked until the Hesk Dominion ruined everything. The Hesk were arrogant, tall, metallic-scaled, and convinced they were the smartest beings ever produced by evolution. They believed diplomacy was weakness, fear was stupidity, and the Carthax? Apparently, just another problem to conquer. I was present when the message arrived. Grand Assembly Hall, 400 species watching. Hesk Ambassador Torvak stepped forward, lifted his long claws, and announced proudly, "Today the Hesk Dominion delivers a declaration of war to the Carthax." The room went silent. Not quiet. Silent. The kind of silence where everyone suddenly realizes someone just stepped on a mine. Torvak continued speaking. Oh yes, he kept going. Confidence is a dangerous drug. The Carthax have terrorized this galaxy for too long. We will crush them. Their skulls will decorate our warships. Across the hall, I saw several ambassadors quietly faint. The Carthax representative stood slowly. Commander Rail, 9 feet tall, armor made from the bones of something unfortunate. His yellow eyes scanned the chamber. When he spoke, his voice sounded like rocks grinding together. You declare war? Torvak smiled. Correct. Rail blinked once. Then he laughed. Not a pleasant laugh. More like the sound of a predator discovering dinner had just walked directly into its mouth. You understand, Hesk, what this means? Torvak lifted his chin. We are not afraid. Rail turned slowly, looking across the chamber. Hundreds of alien faces stared back. Some terrified, some fascinated, some already calculating how far their planets were from the nearest Carthax fleet. Then Rail asked a question. A very simple question. And who stands with the Hesk? That was the moment everything went wrong. Because Ambassador Torvak raised one claw and pointed. Not at a military alliance. Not at a powerful empire. No, he pointed at the newest species in the assembly. Humans. Yes, those humans. And, at the time, nobody really understood them yet. Torvak declared loudly. The Terran Union supports this war. The human delegation froze. I remember the exact moment. 3 humans sitting at a small table. Ambassador Sarah Chin, Captain Leo Ward, Advisor Milo Grant. All 3 stared at Torvak like he had just set their house on fire. Sarah leaned toward her microphone. I'm sorry, what? Torvak smiled confidently. You promised support. Sarah blinked slowly. We promised trade agreements. Torvak waved a claw dismissively. Same thing. Every species in the chamber suddenly looked at the humans. Because now, the Carthax were looking at them too. Commander Rail studied the humans carefully. His yellow eyes narrowed. You support this war. Sarah rubbed her temples. No, absolutely not. Torvak interrupted. They stand with us. Leo Ward leaned toward the microphone. His voice calm, dangerously calm. Buddy, we met you 2 hours ago. Torvak ignored him. Rail stepped closer to the human table. The temperature in the room felt like it dropped 10 degrees. You stand with the Hesk. Sarah sighed, a long, tired sigh. Then she said the words that changed everything. We're not with them. Pause. But if you attack us too, that's your mistake. The room froze. Even Torvak looked confused. Rail tilted his head. You threaten the Carthax? Leo leaned back in his chair. No. Small pause. Then he smiled slightly. We're warning you. Rail studied them carefully. For the first time, I saw uncertainty in a Carthax commander. because humans did not look scared. Not even a little. That was unusual. Most species trembled when speaking to Carthax. Humans looked mildly annoyed. Rael finally spoke. If war begins, we will exterminate every ally of the Hesk. Sarah nodded slowly. Understood. Torvat grinned proudly. The fool thought everything was going exactly as planned. Then Rael turned and walked away. His final words echoed through the chamber. The war begins now. Panic exploded across the assembly. Diplomats shouted. Security forces ran. Entire governments began emergency transmissions. The galaxy was about to burn. And somehow, humans had been dragged into it. Later that day, I received a transmission request. Human Embassy. Ambassador Sarah Chin. I accepted immediately. Her face appeared on my screen. She looked tired. Very tired. Observer Varek, quick question. I swallowed. Yes. Sarah leaned forward. These Carthax. Pause. How dangerous are they? I stared at her. Then I answered honestly. They have ended 32 civilizations. Silence. Sarah leaned back in her chair. Well, she sighed. That's inconvenient. Behind her, Captain Leo Ward spoke calmly. Fleet Command just responded. Sarah looked at him, and Leo shrugged. They said if the Carthax start it, we finish it. Sarah nodded slowly, and she looked back at me, her voice quiet. You might want to stay somewhere safe, Varek. I felt a chill crawl through my spine. Why? Sarah smiled, and I will never forget what she said next. Because the Carthax think they're the galaxy's deadliest killers. Small pause. Then she added, they haven't met humans in a real war yet. And somewhere far beyond the assembly, the first Carthax invasion fleet was already heading toward Earth. 3 days after the declaration, the galaxy waited for Earth to die. That sounds dramatic, I know, but I am an observer. My job is to record truth, not comfort fragile egos. And the truth was simple. The Carthax did not lose wars. When they chose a target, that target vanished. Planets burned. Cities disappeared. Entire species became museum exhibits. So when the Carthax First Strike Fleet appeared near the Sol system, everyone assumed the same outcome. Extinction. I was stationed in an observation post near the border of Terran space. The Lurian Assembly had ordered several neutral observers to monitor the situation. Translation. We were there to witness humanity's final moments. The Carthax fleet arrived first. 30 warships. Massive. Spiked. Covered with weapon arrays and trophy bones from earlier victories. Commander Rael led them personally. His voice echoed across open channels. This is Carthax Commander Rael. Humans of Earth. Your alliance with the Hesk condemns you. There was a pause. Then a human voice responded. Calm. Relaxed. Almost bored. This is Captain Leo Ward of the Terran Defense Fleet. Small pause. First of all, we are not allied with the Hesk. Rael answered immediately. You spoke support in the assembly. Leo sighed loudly over the channel. That was sarcasm. Several observers around me exchanged confused looks. Rael sounded irritated. Sarcasm is not a recognized diplomatic defense. Leo replied. Yeah, we figured. Then came another pause. Leo spoke again. But since you brought 30 warships to our house, a small chuckle followed. I guess we're doing this. Commander Rael gave a single order. Destroy Earth. The Carthax fleet advanced. And that was when something strange happened. Earth did not panic. No frantic broadcasts. No desperate surrender signals. Instead, something else appeared on my sensors. Ships. Human ships. Hundreds of them. No, thousands. They emerged from every direction. Behind moons. From asteroid belts. From orbital docks hidden around the gas giants. An enormous Terran fleet surrounded the Carthax. Commander Rael paused. You hit a fleet. Leo responded. No, this is just the local defense group. The silence that followed was almost painful. Rael spoke again. Local. Leo continued. You should see the rest. Then the battle began. I have witnessed many conflicts. Nothing looked like what humans did next. The Carthax opened fire first. Plasma beams ripped toward the human line. Terran ships scattered instantly. Fast. Too fast. They moved like predators, not prey. Human fighters swarmed the Carthax formation. Small ships, tiny compared to Carthax cruisers, but unbelievably aggressive. They attacked engines, weapon ports, shield generators, like angry insects chewing through armor. Then the larger Terran warships joined. Railguns fired, missiles launched in waves. Electronic warfare flooded every frequency. Carthax targeting systems began malfunctioning. Commander Rail shouted orders, but the Terrans were everywhere. One Carthax cruiser exploded, then another, then 3 more. Within minutes, the Carthax formation collapsed. I heard Leo Ward's voice again, still calm. Hey, Commander, quick tip. Missiles streaked across space. Another Carthax ship broke apart. Next time you invade a planet, pause. Do a little research first. Rail roared in fury. Carthax do not retreat. Leo responded instantly. Yeah, you might want to start. The humans pushed harder. Entire squadrons focused on isolated Carthax ships. Precision strikes. Engine kills. Boarding pods. Yes, boarding. Humans actually boarded Carthax vessels during combat. Madness. Glorious madness. Within 40 minutes, the battle was over. 30 Carthax ships had arrived. 5 escaped. The rest were destroyed or captured. Captured. Nobody captured Carthax ships before. Ever. But the strangest part happened afterward. Commander Rail's flagship had been disabled. Terran Marines boarded it. And then, the humans did something completely unexpected. They opened a communication channel. Leo Ward appeared again. His face slightly bruised, but smiling. Commander Rail. The Carthax leader growled. You should have died today. Leo shrugged. You too. Pause. Then Leo leaned closer to the camera. We don't want your territory. Rail glared at him. We will return. Leo nodded casually. I know. Small pause. That's kind of the problem. Rail's eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Leo smiled again. The kind of smile predators use. Now we know where you live. Across the galaxy, the message spread. The Carthax had started a war with humanity, and they had lost the first battle. A week later, the Lurian Assembly held an emergency meeting. The hall was packed. Every species present. Commander Rail stood in the center under heavy guard. Captured. Alive. Which was already historic. Ambassador Sarah Chin addressed the chamber. Her voice calm. We tried to avoid this conflict. She glanced at the Hesk ambassador. Torvak looked much less confident now. Sarah continued. But the Carthax attacked Earth. She folded her arms. So now humanity has a decision. The room held its breath. Sarah spoke clearly. We can end this war today. Hope spread through the chamber. Then she finished the sentence. Or we could go visit Carthax space. Complete silence. Commander Rail stared at her. You would invade us? Sarah nodded politely. If necessary. Rail laughed bitterly. You think humans are the galaxy's deadliest killers now? Sarah tilted her head slightly. No. Small pause. Then she delivered the final line. We're just the species that refuses to lose. Behind her, Captain Leo Ward whispered loudly enough for several microphones to catch it. Also, we're a little stubborn. The assembly erupted into nervous laughter. But I did not laugh, because I had seen the battle, and I understood something the rest of the galaxy was only beginning to realize. The Carthax had ruled the stars through fear. But humans? Humans fought wars like they were solving problems. Creative, relentless, and very, very determined, which meant the galaxy had just learned a new rule. Never start a war with humanity, especially by accident. If humanity surprised the galaxy today, just wait for what comes next. Subscribe now, because the next chapter changes everything. See you in the next story.